And the new middleweight champion of the world is Alex Pereira. Of course, I am not Bruce Buffer. No, I am a former middleweight champ, but the new middleweight champion of the world, as we know, UFC 281 just finished. Alex Pereira got the job done, got the knockout, got the finish in round 5 in a fight that if it went a few more minutes, Izzy was going to pick up a decision. Now, coming into this one, I thought Izzy looked a little, I'm not going to say nervous. No, that's not the right word. He was very, very respectful and cautious of the challenge ahead of him. Walking into this one, we all know Alex had beaten him twice. When you're fighting somebody that the last time you shared a fighting arena with that man and you were left unconscious, there's definitely skeletons in your closet, okay? So Izzy was aware of that, but I thought he fought a very, very good fight. Round 1, he was the sharper guy. He landed more. The right hand was money. The jabs were nice. Throwing a lot of kicks, but nothing particularly landed of any merit until the end of the round. It was a right hand, and then Mark Goddard looked like he was going to step in, then boom, I think it was a big left hook. Landed for Izzy. Right on the buzzer, or the shot was in motion when the buzzer went. So it wasn't a foul blow, nothing like that. Then Pereira came out round 2, landed some good shots. He was backing Izzy up against the fence, and that's the right thing to do. You've got to back him up. Izzy has such great footwork, switches stances, glides all over the octagon. But if you back him up, there's nowhere to run to. There's nowhere to dance around. There's no space to use unless you go left or you go right. That's why hooks are good. If you go that way, you throw a left hook. If he goes that way, you throw a right hook or a kick or whatever. So round 2, Pereira settled the score. Round 3, I think it was 3, we saw a bit of grappling. As as Nate Diaz would say, oh, so you're a wrestler now? Hey, but listen, this is mixed martial arts. Israel Adesanya has been defending takedowns for a long time. And I said to you, don't be surprised if he tries to use some of the tricks that he's learned in the gym. And why not? And he actually managed to take Pereira down. He got on top. In fact, it was actually Pereira that was looking for a takedown, but the setup was pretty bad, and in fact, he was off balance going for the takedown. So definitely a lot of inexperience in terms of grappling was shown from Pereira. And Izzy took advantage of it. He capitalized on it, got top position, got on top, landed some ground and pound, took the back for a while, and Pereira had a tough time getting back to his feet. Round 4, once again, it looked like Pereira was exhausted. But it's not over until the fat lady sings, of course, because Pereira was backing him up quite a lot, but he wasn't really throwing anything. As I say, he wants to back him up against the fence, so therefore he's got no escape route, okay? But he would back him up, but he wouldn't throw, and I thought he's very, very tired. We heard DC and Rogan talking about it. Of course, Pereira does a very, very big weight cut, and that will, take its toll as the fight progresses. Of course, the grappling exchanges as well. Even though he grapples in the gym, of course, he does mixed martial arts, he'll do jiu-jitsu, he'll do wrestling, but he probably wasn't expecting that much grappling in this fight, and I think he was getting tired, and surely the weight cut was a part of that, and of course, taking shots. Izzy landed some really, really nice shots, did some great work. At the end of round 4, it was clear Izzy was up 3 rounds to 1. Now, Pereira wasn't being outclassed, far from it. Izzy was the busier guy. Izzy had the grappling exchanges. He won those. He got on top, threatened chokes and things like that. And he was just generally busier. In the 5th round, Pereira had to come out there and get a finish. And as we know, that is exactly what he did. He backed him up, landed a big shot, kind of wobbled him, and then there, he sensed the finish and he went all out to try and get the finish, and that's what he got. Landed some big shots, had Izzy kind of hurt, he turned his back away, kind of stumbled to the ground but didn't fully go down, worked his way back up, and then Pereira just unloaded, throwing everything he could. Now, this is the real talking point here. Was the fight stopped early? All right, I'm a friend of Mark Goddard's. I would never throw him under a bus publicly. And to be honest, I don't think it was stopped early. However, I think there is a discussion to have. If I was Israel, I'd be pretty annoyed. I love Mark Goddard. He's one of the best in the business. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about from a fighter's perspective. If I want to have my belt taken off me, right, I want to be choked unconscious and left on the floor in Madison Square Garden. That's exactly what GSP did to me. But I think at that level of the game, you can maybe let it go a little bit longer. But fighter safety is absolutely paramount. Izzy was looking at the floor, but he was on the feet and he was kind of moving the head. So that is somewhat defensive, but still, nonetheless, it certainly wasn't a bad stoppage. You know, there's a conversation there to have. It wasn't a bad stoppage at all. And Alex Pereira is the new middleweight champion of the world. And it just shows how dangerous this man is and the power that he has. You know, as I say, it's not over until it's over. And Izzy was way ahead. 3 rounds to 1. Granted, they were competitive. He was the better grappler. He was the more active on the feet. He landed better shots, cleaner shots. But the shots of Pereira definitely were stronger. They definitely did more damage. That jab that Pereira was landing throughout the fight, I mean, that sent Izzy back a few times. A thunderous jab. We know about the left hook that he finished him with last time. But the fact that he didn't give up on himself, the fact that he was tired, the fact that he went out there in round 5 and emptied the tank and got the finish, I mean, come on, how can you not respect that? Now, what happens next? Now, these guys have a lot of history. Pereira's beaten him 3 times, but only 1 time in mixed martial arts. I'm guaranteeing there will be some of the middleweight division that were very happy because they will probably see holes in Pereira's game that they can exploit. Robert Whittaker is probably like, I can take that guy down. If Izzy took him down, I can take him down. And again, that isn't an insult to Izzy. He did a great fight. He had a great performance, just didn't get the job done. And in round 5, Pereira landed those big, heavy shots that he needed to. So what's going to happen? We never heard from Izzy on the microphone afterwards. Of course, a very, very disappointing night for him. But I gotta say, Izzy had my respect. What a class act. He bowed to the crowd. He was, you know, you got to take victory or defeat in the most humble way you can. You know, and when you're winning fights, you want to be great and you want to be gracious and you want to say respect to your opponents. And when you lose, you're going to try and do the same thing. So we didn't hear any complaining from Israel. We're yet to see what he says at the post-fight press conference because the fight literally just finished. But tonight belongs UFC 281 to the new undisputed middleweight champion of the world, Alex Pereira. So who does he fight next? Who does he fight next? I mean, normally when you have a guy that is so dominant like Israel was, this was either his 6th or 7th title defense. Generally, in that circumstance, they would get an automatic rematch, okay? They will get another shot. But I don't know because they have fought 3 times and 3 times now Pereira's won, as I said. So what do they do? What would you do? Let me know in the comments. Would you make that rematch or would you let Pereira defend against somebody else? Let Izzy go away, get another victory, you know, make that a thing of the past, find his mojo and then come and challenge Pereira again. We don't know. We don't know what the UFC are going to do. You know, I have no idea. Me personally, I think Izzy deserves a rematch. I think he has been such a great champion. He's been entertaining. He's been charismatic. He's been a workhorse for the UFC. They said on the commentary there, ever since Israel won the belt, he has competed in 20% of the UFC's title fights. I mean, that is phenomenal. What a schedule. What a workload. The toll that takes on the body and mentally as well. It is incredibly draining. So maybe Izzy, you know, can go away and take a little bit of time out. Have a little bit of time. Have a little well-earned rest. Because as I say, the training camps, the fights, not only physically, but mentally grueling and all the promotion and flying all over the world. By the way, I'm not making excuses for him and I'm not taking away from Pereira's victory. Pereira beat him fair and square, but Izzy's been working his ass off. If I'm him, I take a little 3, 4, maybe even 6 months off. You know, take a little break, come back and try and get your belt back. I would like to see an immediate rematch. Failing that, it's Alex Pereira versus Robert Whittaker. Robert Whittaker is clearly the next guy in line, if you ask me. He's beating everybody else and he's head and shoulders as the next best guy after Israel. Well, of course, we've got Pereira there now as well. So Pereira's the champ. Izzy, in my mind, takes a little break. In the meantime, Pereira fights Robert Whittaker. Israel Adesanya has brought so much entertainment to the octagon, you know, from his walkouts, from the promotion, from the way he fights as well. I know there's been a couple of fights that weren't fight of the nights, but there's been some performances like against Paulo Costa that were absolutely fucking sensational. You know what I mean? They were savage beatdowns, you know, we've got to remember that. So number one, it just shows how good Pereira is. And that fight, by the way, I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. I always am when it's a middleweight title fight. Of course, that's my old division, so I'm more invested. But I was biting my fingernails. I was on the edge of my seat. It was high-level stuff until it came to the grappling. But still, they're the best kickboxers on the planet, for crying out loud. But there it is. We have a new champion, and that man's name is Israel. What am I saying? We have a new champion, and that man's name is Alex Pereira. I'm so used to saying fucking Izzy, aren't I? Do you know what I mean? The champion's name is Alex Pereira. Congratulations. What a finish. I mean, that was the way it was always going to go down. If Pereira was going to win, it was by knockout. If Izzy was going to win, it was by decision. That's what I thought. Of course, Pereira, man, go away, enjoy, celebrate. He made history. He's defeated Adesanya. He became the champion on only his 7th mixed martial arts fight. If the grappling of Pereira can get somewhere close, I don't mean catch up to the striking. I don't think that's ever going to happen. But if the grappling of Pereira can improve to a point, you know, where he's very, very competent. I mean, the man could reign supreme for a very, very long time. So, commiserations, Izzy. You'll be back, champ. You know, no shame. And Pereira, I mean, come on. Take a bow, my friend. That was sensational. A come from behind knockout victory in their 5th round. Doesn't get much better than that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe, ring the bell. Let me know what you thought of the fight down there in the comments. I'll catch you soon.